that are attending the Hajj. And then at the end, he said, and do not praise anyone but Allah, but because if Allah did not guide me, I would be like just everyone else. It is Islam that makes you good. It is Islam that has set, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set certain rules to make us good. Then why give up a life in the hereafter just for the life of this dunya? How long will you live? 40, 50, 60, you're lucky to get to 70. Why give up a life of eternity for a few years on this dunya, which is a test? The house you build in this dunya will crumble, but the house you build in the hereafter will stay forever. And this is what we're after. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith, he asked the companions, do you know who the muflis is? The one, meaning the bankrupt person. He said, or they said, it is a person with no wealth. The one with no money is a bankrupt person. That's what we would naturally know. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, no, it is a person on the day of judgment who will come with mountains of good deeds. Think about it. Imagine coming on day of judgment. You have mountains of good deeds. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes it all from you and you end up in the hellfire. And why? Because you lied, you cheat, you slandered, you backbit, you stole, you done everything against the people. That is the bankrupt person. So don't think if you have no money in this life, don't think that this is bad. If you have iman and you have good deeds, you have achieved success. You have achieved success, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, change before it's too late. If you hang around people that don't remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, move away from them. Either you change them or move away from them. Some people came up to Hassan al-Basri and they said, what should we do? We sit with people that make our hearts almost fly out of our chests because they remind us of the fear of Allah and the fear of the hellfire. What should we do? He said it's better for you to sit with these people that make you fear than rather to sit with people who make you feel safe in this life. And this is words of gold. And a poet once said, O soul, prepare for death and seek a safe passage, for surely the wise person is he who is prepared. You have become sure that no living soul shall live forever, and that certainly there is no avoiding death. You're certain that you're going to die. Also, a person of the past said, I'm amazed at he who knows death is certain, yet he laughs. I'm amazed at a person who knows the fire is true, yet he rejoices. I'm amazed at he who sees how life changes the condition of the people, yet he feels safe. And I am amazed at he who knows predestination is true, and yet he ties himself night and day working to get more money. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said to the companions one day, if you knew what I knew, you would laugh little and you would cry a lot. One day the Prophet ﷺ was with his companions and he saw a group of people and he asked the companions, why have they gathered? Why have they gathered in this spot? And they said, they are here to dig a grave. The Prophet ﷺ became startled. He became alarmed and he ran to that grave. He knelt down on the grave and he started to cry. And the companion that was narrating this hadith said, I looked at the Prophet ﷺ's face. He was crying so much that the soil underneath became wet. And then he looked, ﷺ, at his companions and he said to them, prepare yourselves for a day like this. Prepare yourselves for a day like this. Are we prepared? Are we prepared to enter that grave? Have we done enough? Have I got time just for a final story? Just one more. The final story, inshallah, I'll leave you with. It's about a girl that I know. She used to call herself Kay. I'm not going to use her Muslim name, inshallah. She came from a religious family. And at the tender age of 16, something happened in her life. And remember, this girl was extremely beautiful. The world opened up in her eyes. She started to see around her what there was, the beauty. And one day, she fell in love with an Australian boy. So she goes home, and her father finds out that his daughter has fallen in love with an Australian boy. And this we're talking a few years ago. So back then there was a bit of racism. So the father, he became very angry. And he beat her. He beat her so severely that he marked her body. So she went to school. And the teachers noticed this, one of the teachers. So they called the police. Next thing you know, they get a knock at the door. And the police came and took the daughter away. After a while, this girl came back home. And she saw her father and she said, I want to marry this Australian boy. He wants to become Muslim. He wants to convert or revert to Islam. And the father said to her, you have one of two choices. Either you come with us to Lebanon, or you can stay here with him. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never ever to put us into this situation, because it would not be easy. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us some hikmah, because maybe this Australian boy did want to become Muslim, you don't know. But anyway, back to the story. So this girl decided to stay with the Australian boy. And after a while, she started going out to nightclubs and drinking alcohol. One day she had a severe headache and she asked someone for a pill, for a Panadol. And her friend decided to give her a pill. So she took it and she became high. And this pill opened the door to a lot of things for this girl. It was the first khutbah, the first step into a life of trial and hardship. Next thing you know, this girl has actually gone and started working in some strip joints. Muslim girl. At one stage she became sick of this life, or the life that she was living, and she went and asked her uncle, can you please take me back? Please take me in. And her uncle said to her, no, I don't want to see you. I'm scared about my daughters. Maybe you might corrupt my daughters. Get away from here. So she left, and she became worse. She became addicted to drugs. She started to steal. She got put into jail. Our Muslim sister. After a while, a different uncle actually became, his heart felt a bit of softness towards her. So he took her back to Lebanon. And alhamdulillah, they cleaned her when she went back to Lebanon. And then she got married to her cousin. And to cut a long story short, they ended up coming back to Australia, the whole family. And this girl went back to drugs. Because the society she was in, it's very easy. She might have met some of her old friends that might have tempted her. And she fell back into it. Her husband didn't know she used to use drugs, because she used to do it when he was not there or when he was asleep. It came to a stage where she was about to lose her life. She had to have a liver transplant. And that's where her life was over. She started to use more drugs. She started to use more and more and more. Her husband tried to help her, but to no avail. It's hard. It's a hard situation. Then his eldest daughter started to follow the footsteps of the daughter. She started running away. She started staying over boys' houses. So he decided, what am I going to do? I can't lose my daughter as well. So he shifted off to Lebanon and left. He actually divorced his wife. Then the lady or the girl, her friends and family tried to help her, but to no avail. She was actually found one day in a park, overdosed, and the paramedics had to come and revive her. And then one day,